Hello everyone! Recently I've seen this wonderful art piece made by the cat Miku on Twitter, and I damn near lost my mind. I immediately became obsessed with this Miku design, and it seems like everyone felt the same because it went super viral. Everyone was drawing their version of Brazilian Miku and I wanted to join in on the fun. While I was researching stuff about Brazil and talking to some Brazilians online, I had this idea. What if I drew different Miku versions for every country? So that's what I'll be doing. Leave a comment on what country I should do next and maybe I'll do it. But without further ado, let's get into this drawing. First I needed to sketch out the body and I wanted her to be laying on a beach somewhere. That's all I knew at this point. Though I think the original design is perfect, I wanted to experiment a bit and see what I could come up with myself. In terms of clothing, I chose this bikini top and changed the color of her headbands in the later process. I kept the shorts, but added a Brazil necklace. The hair was really fun to draw, and after flipping the canvas and getting jump scared, I was ready for the background. I had to think about what parts of Brazilian culture I was going to put in my drawing, and asked people on Reddit. Everyone was super helpful on there and I learned so much. Living in Germany, you just don't learn much about Brazil in school, so all I knew were the classic Christ the Redeemer and samba stuff. And while this is of course an important part, I knew that this is not all this country had to offer, so I had to look a little deeper. I heard some really great suggestions from people like this fest called Bumba Meu Boi, that I'm definitely mispronouncing, sorry for that.
Oh não, Grinch.
In general, I'll be mispronouncing a lot of stuff in this video, and probably in the coming ones too, so just pretend you didn't hear it. This looked really fun, but I had to scratch that, because it didn't fit the beach theme. So my search went on, and someone said to put a drink called Guarana in there, and suddenly I remembered that I already know this, though I only knew it as the sponsor for the Brazilian national team, but that counts as something, right? While I was talking to people online, I decided to do line art to save some time. Nothing too special here, since I'm just basically tracing everything that I drew before. Lots of people seem to wear flip-flops, and Miku even wears them in her design, so I put them in the background. After that I thought about putting a football into the background, but since football is also very popular, I decided to go with that instead. Then came the capybara, which I gave a silly pair of sunglasses. Looking back, maybe I should have chosen another animal that Brazil is more known for, but then it happened. Someone mentioned the Vira-lata caramelo dog, and everything made sense. While I was doing research, I kept seeing pictures of this dog, and I was very confused. Turns out this breed, if you can even call it that, are everywhere in Brazil, and I'm a big fan of this guy, so of course he had to be in there too. Then I did line art for the background, and I have something to admit. I don't know if this is okay to do, but I couldn't get the pattern on the ball right, so I traced it from an image. This make me an art fraud now? I don't know, I couldn't get it right, so please just forgive me. So that's why the line art of the ball just appears out of thin air. The rest worked out well though, so I knew it was time to choose the colors. You can see I start with the hair here, and then I choose the colors for the top and the headbands. The jeans seemed way too flat to me, so I added more detail, which I normally don't do. Coloring jeans never works out the way I want it to, because I can't get the texture right. Now that I think about it, I should probably do an in-depth study. Then I shaded the eyes and gave her those tan lines you see in the original drawing. I really like the look of them in combination with her skin tone, so I think I will do this more often. The waves took me more time than I anticipated, but weren't hard to do. And yes, I put a little Among Us in there, because I just couldn't help myself. Sadly he gets lost after I tilt everything later, so at least I get to mention it here in the video. While choosing the base colors for the background, I had to make sure that I found the right shade for the dog, and kept going back and changing it slightly a bunch of times, but the rest was smooth sailing. When placing the shadows in a scene, I never know where to put them. With easy shapes, like this can for example, it's less complicated, but the characters are always a nightmare for me. I really gotta look at how shadows behave, cause this is not it. And after some final touches on the background, I was finally ready to shade Miku herself. I start with the skin and couldn't get the color for the light shadow right yet, so just bear with me and I will change it later, I promise. I put them down roughly and then went back to blend and smooth everything out. Then it was time for the hard shadows, and that was way easier for me. It didn't take me long, so I was moving on to the hair. Sadly I messed up here because I forgot to press record, and so half of the shadow just appears out of thin air. I always keep doing this to myself. We are nearing the end right now, so it feels like the right time to mention that I would have loved to include so many more Brazilian things in here, but I had only so much time and space on the canvas. Please comment on what country I should draw next and let me know what you thought about this video. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date with me, it would really mean a lot to me. The lights were a little tedious, so I just cut that part out right here, but this is the final result. Brazilian Miku. If you're Brazilian, I hope I didn't offend you with this piece or my terrible pronunciation. Is there anything I should have done differently maybe? As always, there are links to my socials in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care!